Election Day 2024 is here with voters across Metro Detroit showing up and showing out. People in Detroit, Warren, Southfield, and Ann Arbor all rushing to the polls with rush hour traffic underway.
Ballots are being counted at Huntington Place right now, and we're taking a live look inside as Battleground Michigan makes its voice heard.
Polls close in just 3 hours, and right now there's no way of knowing how long the results are going to take. Thank you for joining us on this historic day. I'm Glenda Lewis.
And I'm Simon Shaquette. Right now, our swing state is recording potentially record-breaking turnout.
We do have team coverage following every angle of this high-stakes race. We're going to begin with our Heather Catallo. And Heather, you've been keeping an eye on Metro Detroit polling places all day today. Are things running smoothly?
Well, for the most part. The Secretary of State had a field team of 100 people across the state to respond to any potential issues today. With a high turnout election, there's always some glitches. So today voters faced a few lines and in one case a gas leak at a precinct. But overall, early voting seems to have kept the crowd sizes down in many places, even though overall turnout is expected to break records.
We voting.
From Redford to Detroit, voters and even Michigan's Secretary of State celebrated Election Day with dancing, DJs, and I voted stickers.
I did it, people. Yes, yes.
It's a good turnout. I'd like to see this.
A handful of voters in one of Redford Township's precincts complained about only having one computer to check voters in. But election officials say that's the usual protocol, and most voters said they did not mind the wait.
I got to vote for my first time. It's really exciting. It's an important election, so I want to make sure I cast my vote.
It went about almost 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Not bad, but it went kind of fast. And I'm glad I came and did what I was supposed to do.
Quick, very organized, smiling faces. Everybody excited.
In the city of Northville, a gas leak forced Precinct 1 to relocate to Hillsdale Middle School. Meanwhile, on Detroit's west side, a steady stream of voters cast their ballots inside this elementary school.
It's a very nice experience, very easy experience. I wish more people would take advantage of it and come and let their voice be heard.
It's real smooth over here.
Not everybody has this right. Not everybody lives in a place where they can make their voice heard, so it's just important to set an example early on.
Ann Fitzpatrick says she had just two things on her mind when she cast her ballot: 3-month-old Killian and 3-year-old Jamie.
For these guys, for our communities, for our neighborhoods, I mean, obviously the federal election is important, but like state, local elections, judges, millages for arts and schools.
Secretary Benson says 3.3 million people used early voting or returned an absentee ballot before the polls even opened today, which means many of the unofficial vote totals could come in sooner than expected tonight.
When the polls close at 8 p.m., we will start to see printouts of results from tabulators. Those printouts and those early results will include those votes cast today, those votes cast at early voting centers, and in some cases, like in Oakland County and Detroit, ballots that were returned through the mail.
Election officials still need to count any absentee ballots that were handed in today. Those can be dropped off until 8 p.m. tonight, and those will take a little while to tabulate. Secretary Benson is reminding everyone that it will still take some time for election workers to complete their security checks to make sure that every single ballot turned in by the deadline is counted. So she's asking for a little bit of patience. But Simon and Glenda, because so many of those absentee ballots were pre-processed, that should move this along a lot quicker than it was 4 years ago.
Well, hopefully, because there's been chatter about days, so we'll see.
Yes.
Thank you so much,
Heather.
All right.
Well, with the last 3 hours of voting upon us, people across the country are waiting in line to make their voice heard before the polls close for good this election cycle. Some of the longest lines we've seen were in Ann Arbor back in 2022. You remember that, when many first-time voters waited in line until 2 a.m. to cast their ballot.
7 News Detroit reporter Sarah Michaels is checking in on what those lines look like today. She joins us live from the University of Michigan Museum of Art in Ann Arbor. Good afternoon, Sarah.
Good afternoon to the both of you. Things are going much more smoothly today than back in 2022. I want to give you guys a look at what we're seeing here in Ann Arbor. Both of the campaigns have their presence here. The Trump campaign has some signs, the Harris campaign with their tent right there. There's a state representative that left just about an hour ago, was passing out pizza all day long to, as you may expect, some very excited college students. Now, I want you to take a look at this video. This is from inside just a few moments ago. You can see that line of first-time voters. The museum tells me that since 2022, they've been preparing for today, and they are very proud of how smoothly the lines are moving. It's about a 12-15 minute wait at this moment. Now, take a look at this. This is the video from voting in 2022. You can see right there how long those lines were. The lines were about 4 hours long. Some students who were in line before 8 p.m. had to wait outside until 2 a.m. to vote. Thankfully, no long lines like that today to make their voices heard. I did catch up with some first-time voters right after they cast their ballot. I asked them what drove them here today.
For me, I'd say mostly like reproductive rights, just like women's rights in general, because it's very like an important topic right now, I'd say in this election especially.
This election is one that is especially contentious. What did it feel like voting for the first time in this election?
Honestly, it felt empowering. I'm very excited and happy that I was able to do it.
Empowering. That's a very big theme of what I'm hearing from first-time voters. A lot of them walking outside and telling me they're just so excited to be a part of this process for the very first time. Reporting live in Ann Arbor, Sarah Michaels, 7 News Detroit.
It is certainly an honor and a privilege to be able to go vote for the first time.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of young people very excited. Sarah, thank you.
Let's go to Macomb County now. It's one of the key battlegrounds that could make or break this election.
Absolutely. 7 News Detroit reporter Faraz Javed has spent the day at polling places and campaign offices, seeing what the last-minute push looks like for both parties and asking voters how they feel so far.
Sterling Heights High School is one of the 40 polling locations where you will find Macomb County residents busy casting their ballots.
Perfect. Here you go.
One of them is Zaid Ramsey. The 18-year-old came with his friends, and it turned out that all of them were voting for the first time.
Whoever gets elected, that's who we're going to have to live with and deal with for the next few years of our lives. And I feel like it is an important thing to do because that's the only way to get our voices heard.
Macomb County is important to win Michigan's 15 electoral votes. And since the choice will most likely be between Trump and Harris, I decided to visit the campaign offices of both parties to see what is being done in the final hour.
This is the Macomb County Republican Party office.
Nelda Carpenter is one of the volunteers, and this is the first time she's helping out the Republican Party.
He's the only one that can possibly turn our country around.
Leading up to Election Day, the Democrat turned Republican tells me that this place was bustling with people gearing up for what they hope is going to be a big win.
People that are coming in are like the last-minute voters, and they're looking for guidance. They're not quite sure who to vote for when it comes to the down ballot.
Even though Trump won Macomb County in 2016 and 2020, the last election, the number of Trump voters did drop. But Nelda is not worried about this county turning blue because she believes it's time for a change.
From going to the grocery store to paying your electric bill, there's no way that things are better today than they were when Trump was the president. That's what I consider important.
Meanwhile, at the Harris campaign office in Mount Clemens,
I really like that she truly seems to enjoy what she's doing. It's not just a job for her. I think it's a calling.
A volunteer coordinator, Nancy Dumling, is also going door to door and speaking to people who have not yet voted.
The other side is being led by someone who says, vote for me and you never have to vote again. That's not the United States of America that I know.
How confident are you that Macomb County, this election, will be flipped?
It's a concern. I think if we were truly afraid, we're still out there. You know, we're not going down without a fight.
Say if Vice President Harris wins Michigan, but not the county, would that upset you?
I wouldn't be happy, but I wouldn't be totally surprised.
But it seems like the next generation is hoping that things will be different in the future.
The country that we live in today, I feel like we just can't really vote for anyone but Republican or Democratic.
I think that the Green Party is a very good option, and I hate that you can't vote for it because it feels like your vote is a waste.
In Sterling Heights, I'm Faraz Javed, 7 News Detroit.
And many of the experts continue to call Macomb County a swing county, as they did in 2016 and 2020 as well. Let's take a look at our mapping system right now and hone in on Macomb County and tell you what we saw. This was back in 2016. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Trump with 53.6%, Clinton with 42%. And also, as we zoom out a little bit and we look at 2020, it was very close in 2020 as well. We know that President Biden won the race, the overall race. However, Trump still maintained that strong footing in Macomb County in that last election. And I've spent a lot of time in Macomb County talking with voters, getting a sense of what their most important issues are, sitting around the dining tables with them. They talk to me about economy, factory jobs, women's rights, those types of issues. So we do, again, expect to see Macomb County very strong, playing a very big role in this election, in this race. And Glenda will have much more on that front later on tonight.
Again, the importance of Michigan. Thank you so much, Simon. And if you haven't voted yet, there is still time. Polls close at 8 p.m., about 3 hours from now. And then all eyes will be on election workers counting all of those ballots. 7 News Detroit's own Ross Jones, live now at Huntington Place, where Detroit's votes will be processed tonight. A few years back, Ross, you and I were there watching the security and those votes come in. Those election officials already hard at work today.
Yeah, Glenda, good evening. What a difference 4 years makes. It was in 2020. This room was full of poll workers, but I look behind me now, only about a half, maybe even less of the election staff is here because they've been counting ballots for the last 8 days. And the city of Detroit says they have already counted a little bit more than half of them. Let's get you caught up on what we know today. Elections officials say they have already counted about 130,000 votes before today. That's 90,000 that were cast with absentee ballots, more than 40,000 early votes cast in person. As of 3 p.m., another 67,000 Detroiters cast ballots today, which officials say is about on track for what they would expect. The total right now, 209,000 ballots cast in the city of Detroit. Last week, City Clerk Janice Winfrey predicted a total turnout in the city of between 51 and 55%. That would be a little bit better than what we saw in 2020 when it was just over 50%. I can tell you security inside Huntington Place is significantly increased from 4 years ago. Law enforcement stationed inside and outside of the building. They have added bulletproof glass to the front of the building. And just about a half hour ago, I saw Chief James White roaming the floor here inside Hall A of Huntington Place. DPD making a clear show of force on this election day. They are expecting, the City of Detroit Elections Bureau, that they're going to have some hard data to share with us, maybe around 8:30, maybe more realistically 9 o'clock, but they believe they will have all the votes counted by midnight. We'll be here at midnight and frankly much longer than that. We're live at Huntington Place. I'm Ross Jones, 7 News Detroit.
That is for sure, Ross. Thank you so much for your work out there.
With just hours to go before the polls close, 7 News Detroit and WXYZ.com has you covered. Right now on our website, you can find your sample ballot and polling location.
And on our 7 News Detroit app, you will also be able to find partners at Scripps News with reporters deployed to key battleground states, covering what's happening nationally in the race for the White House and, of course, control of Congress.
Something a little bit lighter, windy election day.
But warm out there. Rain on the way, Dave.
Yeah, we've got a record high, at least tide so far. So there's a lot of warmth around the area. We will talk about the winds when they will die off and when the rain moves in. For most of us still trying to vote this evening, we're in pretty good shape. I'll tell you how much we're going to get coming up.
We will soon be a great nation again.
Who will be your next president? Election night, this is where America turns for answers. ABC, Election Night, live.
Your voice matters, your vote counts, and 7 News Detroit will be there every step of the way, providing depth and balance to keep you informed on the races that matter most. America Votes 2024, only on 7 News Detroit.
Some people think they can't afford the Mike Morse Law Firm. The truth is you pay nothing. $0 for a consultation, $0 until we win. Every lawyer works the same way. So choose one that wins. Who you hire matters. 8x5 Mike wins.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal, come have a taste of Wisconsin.
America's Dairyland.
As in real dairy.
It gives Culver's fresh frozen custard its famous rich and creamy flavor.
Like really rich.
So rich.
Rich and creamy.
And our cook-to-order Butterburgers?
They're topped with, you guessed it, Wisconsin cheese.
But it's the smiles we put on your face with every meal made just for you.
That really makes our hearts melt.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Looking to remodel your bathroom? Trust 5-Star Bath Solutions to handle everything. Take advantage of our fall sale event. 77% off installation plus get a free design, free inspection, and for a limited time, a free lifetime warranty.
5, 4, 3, 2,
We are
1.
your bathroom specialist. If your shower is unsafe or just unsightly, call today and schedule your free in-home design. This month only, get a free design, free inspection, and a free lifetime warranty. Plus 77% off the installation. 5-Star Bath Solutions sale ends soon. Call today.
Detroit loves starting their day with 7.
Because for us, what matters is you're ready when you head out the door.
You know what happened overnight and how to plan your day.
You're more informed when it comes to making decisions for you and your family.
You're part of the conversation, the stories everyone's talking about.
You're prepared for the weather. Any changes or disruptions happening, you'll know exactly what to expect, right down to the hour.
And you'll never get caught off guard by construction, major backups, or road closures.
Detroit's favorite way to start the day.
7 News Detroit this morning.
Black Friday deals are rocking at ABC Warehouse. Get